Aim carefully, sister.
Oh.
Freeze!
Oh, I don't really love that Aaliyah
Aim carefully, sister.
is the final boss-ish. But this is a really cool way to do it. Oh, we're lagging. Oh, she can do the thing. Oh, I have the contract!
Who I'll shoot you!
Aim carefully.
Oh, this is really cool.
Aim carefully, sister.
I'm warning you!
Ooh, I almost missed there. It seems like it's pretty straightforward, but this is a cool way to do it. Okay, the buttons do change. Good to know.
Who I'll shoot you!
Aim carefully,
I'm
sister.
warning you!
Aim carefully, sister.
Freeze!
I also love that he is instructing her to aim carefully, but by him saying that, that's the first thing he said when the boss fight started, and I was immediately like, oh no, I have to make sure not to hit Aaliyah. Alright, well, it lags every time he tries to do this, so that gives me plenty of warning time.
Aim carefully, sister.
And yeah, okay, so she usually tries to get a bullet in there. I wonder if I can punch him to death.
Freeze!
Aim carefully, sister.
I'm warning you!
Ah, this is tricky.
Aim carefully.
Now he's moving around a lot less. Okay.
I'm warning you!
Aim carefully, sister.
Freeze!
Dang it. F off, Kaysen. He's such a troll.
Aim carefully, sister.
Also, a little earlier, I was thinking, man, this game is doing such a good job of blending a completely new independent story with fans, while also pleasing fans of the original. But we have gotten to the point where, man, this must make
Patricia Clarkson, I'm here to save you!
no sense if you have not played Deadly Premonition 1. Oh shoot, I don't even, okay, I'm poisoned, I'm bleeding, I'm dying. I don't even know how to avoid that, but I am poisoned now. I think I only have one antidote. What is coming out of the ground? Uh-oh, I think I pressed the pause menu at the exact wrong time. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yep, think that's a crash, unfortunately. Let's see if we can... Yep. Okay. Oopsie. I hope this doesn't set me back too far. Gonna pee, though.
Aim carefully,
Okay,
sister.
good. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen again. We're gonna see what happens if I run up. Alright. God, that's so cool. I'm sad that it really kind of grinds the fight to a halt, but it's still really cool.
Aim carefully, sister. Aim carefully, sister.
I'm warning you!
Alright, I might have to punch Aaliyah a little bit in order to punch Kaysen to death.
Freeze!
What is going on the ground here?
Aim carefully, sister.
I'm warning you!
Ah.
Aim carefully, sister.
I'm warning you!
Wham!
Aim carefully, sister.
God, this boss fight really makes you hate him extra.
Patricia Clarkson, I'm here to save you.
Okay, I'm gonna sprint away.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why, but screaming out 1, 2, 3 as you shoot out poison bullets. Oh no, she does it multiple times. That's bad. Oh, but I'm not poisoned this time. Okay. Alright, we made it to our menu without dying. Something, it feels really cool. Do the exact same thing you did last time. Ow, ow. Okay, I'm poisoned. I'm poisoned. Not the map. I really don't need the map right now. Let's see if I packed any antidote. I have 1. Do the same thing again. Alright, I'm gonna run. Whatever she's doing, I'm gonna run.
You are the suspect, Morgan.
Yo!
You're on death row. Checkmate, Morgan.
Yo! I don't know how you can do this and not realize you're being possessed. But man, this is cool. What is she, Eldritch blasting me now?
You are the suspect, Morgan. You're on death row. And it's time for your execution!
God, that's cool. She's got really good trash talk. I gotta respect it.
Morgan.
Also, those skulls look terrifying. They look like half Ultron, half Gaster Blaster from Undertale. They're great. I love them.
Resistance is futile. Your fate is sealed.
Alright.
You are the suspect, Morgan.
We're gonna punch him. Yes! Yes!
Oh, my power.
Amazing! Yeah, look at that perfect parry. Ah, beautiful. Like, that couldn't have gone better. Do it again. Make it loop. Do the Diavolo thing. Do it. Do it. Yeah. 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 Kua. 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 Kore ga Zack da. Yeah, you're fine. Like, why would you ever smile and be like, oh, I guess I made it out? Gotta get one in there. Yeah, the eyeball! Step on it. Step on it, or shoot it. His eyeball exploded in the first game. We can't just leave it there.
Zack! Hey, Zack! Wake up! Zack! No! You can't die here! Please, Zack! York, please! Save Zack! I know you can save him!
Death is inevitable, Patricia. It descends upon us all equally. All
Except
life
me,
dies
because I'm
in
kind
the
of
end,
magic.
and no one can change that.
finally together again. This isn't fair. Come on. Fulfill the contract.
Sorry, but this is an extenuating circumstance.
And he just walks away?
Then sign a new one with me. This contract isn't valid anymore. Now, I'm going to protect you from all the evil in the world. And I plan on keeping my promise. So you're not allowed to die before I do. Go on. Sign the contract. Come on, sign it. Now!
Are you sure you're prepared for everything that entails? You can only break the rules once. Listen to me, Patricia. When Zach wakes up, I want you to tell him something. This is our final farewell. Thank you so much for all you've done. For all those years, you never forgot about me, did you? It's been so long since we've seen each other, but I know you always kept me in your heart. That's what kept me alive. I owe it all to you, Zach. Thank you. And goodbye.
I had a feeling if I heard that, if they brought back the Woods and the Goddess music, it would make me cry. And here I am, not like sobbing, but tearing up a lot. Yeah, there were two things I knew would make me cry if they happened again. One was that music, and the second one was if we heard Emily's voice.
Thank you.
I teared up a little bit when
Thank you,
it was
Lord.
revealed the fairy was Emily.
Thank you.
If she had said literally anything, I probably would have sobbed.
He who fights with monsters should see to it that he himself does not become a monster. And if you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you.
Come on, it's a cutscene. I'm not pressing buttons. Don't have to go to sleep on me. I wonder if Avery is still alive, because that was not like a bloody mess on the ground there. And most villains explode. He turned out alright, relatively speaking.
Much blood was shed, and many precious lives were lost. Avery Smith was indicted on 11 charges, including kidnapping Patricia Clarkson, illegally disposing of Lise Clarkson's corpse, and distributing the illegal substance known as Sang Rouge. He's currently serving a term of 381 years at a state prison in Angola, Louisiana.
Pretty rough, but...
His first possible scheduled review for parole could happen in 127 years at the earliest.
That's kind of a bummer, because it's very clear
in solving the case
he
was officially
did not have the
acknowledged,
mental capacity
and she
to
was
really
transferred
understand
to the
everything he was
DCHQ.
doing. But I'm glad he lived.
Thanks to
That's
Boston
actually, I'm
Chief
really
Robert
happy.
Abraham's support, she was officially allowed to join the Sang Rouge Investigative Task Force.
Good. Good.
Later, it was reported that her younger brother began to show small signs of recovery from his
Yay!
addiction.
Oh, this is just going to be a happy victory lap, isn't
Simon
it?
Jones
I hope.
was finally freed from his mission to monitor a certain ex-agent and returned to the Boston branch. He was given a brand new computer and put back on data analysis, but never worked another big case. Instead, He spends most of his time at the office doing Sudoku. And so, after 14 long years, the curtain on this gruesome case was finally closed. Lucare still suffers from the aftermath of the plan set into motion by Professor R, aka Helena Doman. She was clearly smart enough to restore the Clarksons' empire on her own, yet she never tried to. The true reason behind her tragic downfall remains shrouded in mystery.
Well, there was the fact that Forrest Jason, a demon from the other world, manipulated her into
anomalies, such as buttoning the
whatever.
wrong shirt button. Just like how this genius, who once inspired great expectations, went on to become infamous as one of the South's most inhuman criminals. And now, after a very long time, life is finally starting to return to Lucare.
I love this song. I don't know how I feel about the hard rock part playing over Lisa's body finally being put to rest. That feels a little odd to me. Oh yeah, I imagine we'll have a post-credits, but there it is. Great job, SWERY. This, I don't think... I'll just go ahead and start yelling out my thoughts now. I don't think this game will leave the same impact on me as Deadly Premonition 1 did. I don't know, I really liked this game. I was so happy that this is the game we got. I feel like having a sequel to Deadly Premonition 2 could have gone any number of ways, and I think on the whole, this was a really great sequel to receive. Amazing job, Jeff Kramer. You did amazing as usual. Cassandra Morris, you were effing fantastic. Chris Smith, you were good. I don't have any complaints about the voice acting, really. Melody, fantastic. I effing loved it. I don't know why I didn't give big props to Simon Jones' voice actor. He did his job very, very well. It's just that he wasn't as likable a character as the other three. Zach and York are separate. I'm curious. I don't think I'll recognize anyone else. Billy Kametz. I don't know about... I love that the Jawaras are voiced separately. I need to look something up about Billy Kametz, but that makes me... I have thoughts. I have big thoughts. Forrest Cason's voice actor is not credited. Unless I missed it, but I'm pretty sure I did not. Yeah, I think, yeah, there is kind of a lightning in a bottle to Deadly Premonition 1 that I don't think this game quite had, but still, clearly the same heart, the same charm, the same attention to detail was put into it. There was still so much effort put into this game that I still absolutely love it. But like I said, there is a lightning in the bottle aspect to Deadly Premonition 1 that I don't think this game quite recaptured. But I'm still super happy. I still really love that. Just so I don't forget, I'm going to go ahead and get into it, and this will turn into a criticism of Deadly Premonition 2, unfortunately. Billy Kametz, it was spelled differently in this credits. I believe the Billy Kametz I know is spelled with a Z, but I believe is the voice actor for Josuke in the English dub of JoJo, which means he is very much a cis male actor, and that is legitimately really disappointing. There was a lot about Lena's character that was very, you did not handle that super great. But then there was also a lot element there of you can tell SWERY does care about transgender people and did not want to make that. The solution is don't make your trans characters villainous, and that's kind of that's part of what went wrong here. There are plenty of other details that I think should have been handled better. The solution to what I'm about to say is just don't make your trans characters villainous. I do think SWERY had it in his brain, I'm going to make this character the villain, they're also going to be trans, and I think he did make a solid effort to divorce those two facts. I think he did he did try very hard to make it clear The fact that she is trans is not the problem here. He also used that as kind of a plot twist to be like, aha, and Lena was also the father. And so, like, transgenderism does not have to be a plot twist. It can just be a part of a character. So, like, there's plenty of elements there that were not handled well. All of that aside, if I am correct that Billy Kmetz is the same one that I think it is, I am legitimately pretty disappointed that they didn't hire a transgender voice actor, because, spoiler alert, plot twist, they exist. You could have hired a transgender voice actor to voice a transgender character, but they pulled a Jared Leto instead, and that's disappointing. And honestly, I don't know a lot about Billy Kmetz himself, but I'm a little bit disappointed in him that he took the role. That's a bummer. I was honestly holding out hope that Lena was voiced by a transgender voice actor, and ironically, aside from Jeff Kramer because he's in the first game, Billy Kmetz was the only voice actor I recognized, voicing the only character I wish he didn't. So that's a bummer. But still, on the whole, I still really love this game. I summarized a lot of how I felt already. Doesn't quite have the same magic, but still a very worthy sequel. They put so much effort to wrap the first game in, which is so shocking to me. Because a lot of this game works as its own narrative. You do not have to have played the first game necessarily to pick up on like 70% of the plot. But then it gets right to the end, and oh boy, you better know what you're talking about with Deadly Premonition 1, because otherwise, who the F is Forrest Kaysen?
I stole this from Professor R's lab.
I figured you would.
I've read through it dozens of times, but it still doesn't make sense to me. I mean, at some point her plan started to collapse, right? Otherwise, I probably would have been killed early on. But here I am, alive and breathing. And the stalker who harassed me for years has been arrested too. Not only that, but now I have a brand new life waiting for me as heir to the Clarkson Empire. Both Lucare and the Clarkson's industries are finally showing signs of recovering. It's just hard for me to believe that this all went according to her plan.
He has a flaw.
Yes, I understand how you feel. No matter how you look at it, things couldn't possibly have ended up perfectly in accordance with her plan.
How can you be sure of that?
You earned a new life for yourself through the effort you put into it. It definitely wasn't something that Lena gave to you. You made this life possible. You didn't do it all on your own, of course. You were only able to come this far thanks to everyone who supported you along the way.
You're welcome,
Anyone
Patti.
really believe that Lena was the one who orchestrated all this? There's no way. I'm positive. All the people you've met thus far, and all the things you've experienced, created the person you are now. Lena's just one of those people, and nothing more.
You really think so?
Still, York and I both fell for that message of hers. Maybe her plan really is still moving forward after all.
Stop joking around. I'm seriously concerned about this.
Sorry, Patti.
What am I going to do with you, Zach?
By the way, did you change your hair color back in order to signify some important decision you made?
Yeah, I guess I did. After losing everything,
I was watching this
finally
amazing
found
movie
my
called
true
Your
self.
Name, and they talk about how
So I've decided
haircuts
to
are
accept
important.
everything that comes to me from this point on.
I think that color looks great on you.
Really? Thanks, Zach. I'll never give up. I'm determined to overcome my cursed blood, whatever it takes.
And you will. That's why York chose you to be his assistant, you know. He always knew you had it in you.
Wow, he really thought that highly of me? Suddenly I feel really motivated now. This is crazy. I don't even know what I should get started with first.
Now that's the Patricia Clarkson I know.
Oh, I got it. I want to go and get one of Alexis's chocolate sundaes.
Not a bad idea. They are to die for.
Yeah, they're like the Deadly Premonition of ice cream.
This is so stupid.
Well, so long, Zach. I'll come visit you next summer. Louisiana summers are just too hot for me to handle.
You're always welcome here. Bye now.
Oh.
Feels like today is going to be another wonderful day. Now, time for some coffee. No matter what the plan is, coffee should always come first. Isn't that right, Emily?
What's with the intense drumming? Oh! It wasn't drumming, it was bowling. I should have recognized it. That's a fantastic... I don't know why I love that so much, but that's a fantastic note to end on. Huh. S rank, finish strong. Huh. So that's so weird that I don't know who he was chatting with. Because for one thing, I was like, okay, it's really cute if he's still chatting with York somehow, but also that kind of takes away from the emotional weight of York saying this is goodbye for real this time. If he can just text him whenever he wants. But that kind of has to be York because they were talking about oh, well, I figured out right away. Oh, shut up. Of course you did. So that only makes that's the only thing that can make sense. And then Zach says, "Tell E I said hi," and York says, "Okay," and that obviously has to be Emily, right? But then Emily is still in fairy form talking to Zach. But Emily was never two sides of a coin. Nothing like that ever happened to Emily. And also I kind of interpreted Emily faded away when Patti said her name. I guess that was just for dramatic effect, that cutscene. Maybe there's a separate fairy and Zach just calls her Emily. I don't understand. It seems like there are two Emilys because York is hanging out with Emily in the kind of white world, white realm from the end of Deadly Premonition 1, and yet the fairy is confirmed Emily at the same time. I don't quite know how to interpret that. I don't actually... As happy as it is that York and Zach both get to hang out with Emily, I kind of wish there was more of a bittersweet aspect to it. It feels like it should be one or the other. So, yeah, I'll be honest. As happy as that makes me, it also I don't absolutely love it. But it's still a happy ending for everyone, and that's great. Wait, I punched a wild dog at some point? Huh. Yeah, that's not my favorite way to wrap it up, but it also makes me feel nice, it's obviously a happy ending, which is nice. I also feel like there can't really be a Deadly Premonition 3. That's kind of the vibe I got the entire time playing this. It seems like Zach is close to death, and it turns out that's a subversion. But it seems like this is the end of Zack's story. It's also a prequel to, in terms of York's story. So, like, the only way to do it would be to go back even further, and that feels like that would just be kind of milking it dry. So, like, Deadly Premonition 2, when I heard it, I was super excited. I was like, I wonder how they're going to continue the story, but I'm excited. I think they did it very well, as I've said. If Deadly Premonition 3 were announced, I would have a very big press X to doubt on that. I would be very worried as to how that would happen. I love this world. Obviously, I love this world so much, but this does feel like the way to end the story. Having Zack live on and get to just hang out with Patti and Skype her all the time is really cute. I also can't imagine this was planned, but seeing two people have very wholesome interactions over video call rings very true in the way that things are handled in the middle of 2020. Again, I feel like it was completely unintentional, but it feels very fitting to have it end on, yes, we are separate, we are far away from each other, we are communicating through a computer screen, and yet we are still happy, we are still friends. I think that's a very unintentional last conversation to have between Zack and Patti. Yeah, there's a lot of downtime in Deadly Premonition 2. A lot of skateboarding around town. I've had plenty of time to talk about all my thoughts, so I don't have a lot more to add. Is this going to bring me a loading screen? Yeah, okay. Oh, there's a framed photo of the two of them. That's adorable. That's so cute. That's such a cute little addition to have to the main screen. I love that. Yeah. Also, very short credits. Much shorter than I expected. I think bringing Kaysen back to be the bad guy was fun in one aspect. I think in the end I do like it. Because he is the one that, like, originates with the red seeds and everything. Very strange. I wonder now that Deadly Premonition 2 is written and completed, I wonder if maybe SWERY thinks differently and, like, has a different interpretation. Very weird that Willie has still not been addressed and is also the background for Zack's computer. Sorry, I had to get more water there. That's a very curious thing. When I saw Willie, I thought for sure, oh, they're going to go all in on Willie as the villain. And that really was not the case this time around. So I guess maybe SWERY wants to take that one back, or maybe the implication is there's still a villain out there that they never tracked down. Not quite sure how to interpret the Willie of it all, which is a phrase I really don't enjoy saying and have said more often than I want to. Anyways, yeah. Don't have a lot more thoughts. I am shocked how, I've already said it, but I'm shocked how hard they went on Deadly Premonition 1 lore right at the end. Because you also have no idea who Emily is if you haven't played Deadly Premonition 1, and that becomes an important note for at least a couple minutes there. It turns out the trees really didn't do all that much. At the beginning of the game, Zack is like, yes, that tree ruined my life. And no, not really. The trees were kind of the source of the evil in a way, but like they didn't end up doing all that much. I really expected the kind of rift between York and Patti would be that Patti touches the tree. But that didn't end up happening. Really, the most glaring thing here is the fact that York's just kind of left. Not at the very end. I mean, left Patti in 2005 was just like, well, your parents are dead and Katrina has wiped away your city. But you have a mansion now and I'm sure you'll be fine, so I'm gonna go investigate more FBI cases. Like, that's wild to me. You can also tie it together, you can read it as York is going after the Red Seeds because eventually that's what leads him to Greenvale, which ends to him stopping Kaysen, although apparently not for forever. Apparently Kaysen was kind of tied to him still in some way. Which in of itself I don't love. The final boss of Deadly Premonition 1 does feel very ending. Like, I don't know if finite is the correct word. Definitive. All those words together. So the fact that Kaysen has just kind of been hiding out in Zack's psyche the entire time and then is able to take actual form, I don't hate that, but I don't love it either. I'll buy it. I think it's fine. I think it's a good way to tie the two games together, so I'm okay with that. Like I said, I'm glad Avery lived. I think he's the first villain that has survived the entire franchise. Aside from Willie, if we're still counting that. I don't really have a clever joke for this one, but one of the things I love most about York is through all the weirdness and awkwardness and unintentional rudeness, he's just a very kind-hearted person. And one of the things I think that shows that the most in this game is the contract. So I made a version of the contract. So that's the little tchotchke for this LP. Yeah. Those are most of my thoughts. I've been voicing a lot of them throughout. Oh, also, I'm a little bit sad Aaliyah was turned into a puppet, because she's such a strong character that I'm sad she didn't... Well, I guess she did save Patti by shooting Zack when he was in his evil form. I think that's a clever way to set up the final boss fight, but it does take some of the agency out of her character, and I think her being such a strong character is what makes her a fun character. So I'm a little bit just slightly sad about that. I'm sad I never got to customize my skateboard, which I'm just now realizing. And I will also say I wish Katrina had been brought up more. I reiterate, I'm super happy they did not try to say, the red tree brought Katrina to Louisiana. I was really worried the story was going that direction, and it did not go that way. So I'm really happy that didn't. But I also think, SWERY did enough research to realize what an impactful event Katrina was on Louisiana. So if you're setting your story in 2005 in Louisiana, I'm happy he tied it in. I wish it had had a bigger thing, because really, we see that there's a storm happening when you get to the shed with Melvin and Candy and Patti, but it's not brought up that the storm is Katrina until after you get out, and by that point, the most you see is, York hugs Patti while it's slightly raining. And, I just feel like we had the one conversation about how Katrina was so impactful to Aaliyah's backstory, and then it's used as the plot excuse of, well, that's why we can't find any more evidence, is because Katrina washed everything away. I wish they'd gone a little bit all in on that. I think you could really explore more of Aaliyah's mentality. I think you could also explore more of how Patti and the rest of Le Carre recovered from Katrina. I was honestly really expecting we would get more of David and Alexis in the epilogue there, but I don't think we even saw them. Yeah, there's just a lot of things that I think they could have worked Katrina to be more central, and instead it's kind of an afterthought, which I'm glad is an afterthought and not just ignored. Especially in regards to Aaliyah's mentality. I think they did a good job exploring that. I ranted about how cool I thought it was, of knowing she was about to be slapped with the label of victim and having to come to terms with that and move past it. I think it's a effing phenomenal character trait and backstory to have, because that's so real. That's such a real thing. And in a wild video game like Deadly Premonition, you don't expect something that grounded and something that's so complex and complicated, that I love that was a part of her character. I do think it could have been wrapped into the main storyline more as well. But I also respect that SWERY did enough research to even put it there in the first place. A lot of my problems with this game are, I am happy SWERY chose to put an element of this in his game. I wish he had gone further. I wish he had gone all in on certain things. That's actually where a lot of my problems with this game lie. Other elements are, the side quests are really not... They're nothing like the Deadly Premonition 1 side quest. It seems like it's mostly just punch some animals, and take some pictures. And I don't know, Deadly Premonition 1 just felt a lot more fleshed out. Greenvale did. Le Carré did end up feeling pretty empty throughout the entire game, and that's a little bit sad. Like, aside from the oak trees, there's really nothing on that left side of town confined to, like, the houses and the main area. There is technically the water tower and the mansion, but, like, those are way out. And so, like, yeah, half the town, there's just really nothing to explore. So, like, I wish there had been more to the world as well. But I wonder what's going to happen. We're just going to load this up. I am still incredibly, incredibly pleased with this game. I am still... Oh, it's back to white. All the red's gone away. Also, I was wrong. There was never a dead body on the tree. I guess that's just a weird-looking part of the tree. My bad. Oh, are we starting over? Yeah, this is the start of the game. Oops. Yeah, no, that I do not need to play through the whole game again right now. But yeah, I still really, really like this game. It doesn't have quite the magic of DP1, but I've said pretty much this exact phrasing before, but there were so many ways that Deadly Premonition sequel could have gone. I am very happy that it went this way. And yeah, those are most of my thoughts. It would have been super cool to get Rebecca Wink back, and yes, I do remember her name this time. For just like 1 or 2 lines of dialogue, it would have been amazing to hear Emily's voice. Like, as I've said, I would have cried if that had happened. But they still had her character present in a way that was really nice. I really figured they wouldn't, because this story is not super connected to Greenvale. It felt like there would not be much of a need to. So I'm glad they did not need to bring Emily back into it at all, and I'm super happy they did. I was correct that she was the fairy. I'm also really happy with myself. I was very smart. And
Quiet down.
I don't think I can pause this as usual, so I'll just turn this down in the audio mixing, and I'll also turn the TV down because Simon is going to talk about pizza for a while here. But yeah, there was a lot about Deadly Premonition 1 they did not need to connect the game to, and I'm happy they did. Oh, I remember what I was talking about. I called a lot of stuff. I called that Avery was the Giant. I didn't think he'd be well, I did call that, if we're speaking literally, yes, I did call that he took the body. But I did not think he was going to be the big one of the final bosses, and in true Deadly Premonition form, there were multiple. I didn't expect him to be a final boss per se, so I was wrong about that. He was a more antagonistic role than I expected. I certainly didn't expect him to kidnap Patti. But I was happy I called that. I think I was somehow correct that the Fool King was York. I'm really happy I got that right.
You're so clever. Maybe if you'd eaten pizza this morning like a decent person.
Yeah, just in general, I feel like I picked up on a lot of details that I certainly, like when I watched the first Let's Play of Deadly Premonition 1, there's a lot of stuff that I did not pick up on at all because I didn't know I was supposed to be paying attention to it. This time around, I think I know SWERY well enough that I was able to pick up on a lot of cool stuff that I am proud of myself for, and I'm proud of SWERY for that he planted a lot of cool stuff in there. I'm also just shocked that this is a full game. Another big worry I had is that SWERY has been throwing himself into the good life, which is his kind of... It's still White Owl Studios, but it's a very indie game. And he's been working on that for like 3 years. And so the fact that this game basically got stealth made, I was expecting it to be very short. And no, it's not. It's a fully fledged game. Again, the world feels a little bit empty. I wish the side quests had been a little bit more thorough. But it's a full-out game. It's not short by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm also just impressed with that. It's very well written. All the characters are charming. Even Simon, is as dumb of a character as he is likable by the end of it. I did really like him. I wish there had been more characters. As I've said this before as well, Deadly Premonition 1 has a lot of wacky side characters that are really lovable. And this one, you don't really have that. You kind of have Raven, the fast travel character, but she's not really a character. And then you have Alexis and David, who are wonderful. And then you have Mrs. Carpenter, who's kind of fun. And then you have, I'm listing off more and more as I talk about it. You have the Mirror, who is goofy because he seems so mystical, and then the more you talk to him, the more you realize he's full of crap. And then you have Father Tyrone, who actually is not really a likable character at all, although he does play a mad piano. And Skateboard Girl, who I'm really sad I don't remember her name. There's a good handful of characters, but it doesn't feel like it has the same ensemble that Deadly Premonition 1 does. So that's another slight bummer. And then you just had all the Clarksons, obviously. There is a full cast, to be sure, but it's just not quite the same big town full of weirdos that Deadly Premonition 1 had. I'm still shocked Danny had character development somehow. A lot of character development. I'm still shocked by that. But it's cool. I like it. I think it's a cool twist because, kind of like Simon said, I expected him to be a completely nothing character, and then it turns out he just turns out to be a pretty chill dude. Yeah. And we got so much more York content, and we got a lot of Zack content. We do not get a lot from Zack in Deadly Premonition 1, and they really turned him into a fully fledged, separate character, completely separate from York. They did a wonderful job with that. And I'm so happy we got to see more of both of those characters. I've talked about how much I love Aaliyah. I think that song was great. And I haven't talked enough about Patricia. She is such a fun character. She is so charming and cute, and the fact that she gives York so much crap, and she is a little sidekick character. I think I might have accidentally said sidekick there. I meant sidekick. She is a little kid sidekick character. Can't handle herself in a fight. Can't do anything like that. She's not Ellie from Last of Us in that manner, but she's still not annoying at all. She is wonderful. She's such a wonderful, fun, great character. I was happy whenever she was on screen, and her and York's dynamic was fantastic. I'm also so happy. I kind of called this, but it was also more of just a wish list. I didn't actually expect it to happen. I'm so happy the contract ended up being so important because, I love that. I just love the idea of a character writing on a wrapper, I promise to protect you from all the evil in our world, and choosing to follow through with that promise for his entire life. I think that is fantastic. I just love that so much. But I can't think of anything else to say, and I'm incredibly hungry. In fact, I hate to let Simon have the final word. But I'm really, really effing hungry for some pizza, and I have some pizza in the fridge because I had some yesterday and I have some leftovers. So I'm going to go pop Simon's wonderful, wonderful God heaven food into the oven and chow down on that. But I effing loved this game. I am so happy I got to play it. I'm so happy it even exists. It really should not. This game should not exist. But it does, and I love it, and I'm so happy I got to play it. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience. That's if Deadly Premonition 1 is a 10 out of 10, which it is for me, obviously. Actually, no. I will say, the Tunnel Witches from Deadly Premonition 1 are absolutely god-awful. For all of the, silly mechanical things in Deadly Premonition 1 that don't work, that enemy was flat out just bad. So let's say Deadly Premonition is a 9 out of 10. This is an 8.5. This gets very close. It doesn't have the same magic to it. I've said that like 5 times already. But there is so much in the game that works and is fascinating, is engaging, is fun, is clever, is funny, is great, is wonderful, that I still love this game, and I'm so happy it exists. It also has plenty of flaws. It has flaws in the writing, in the characterization, in the character of Lena. I feel like SWERY was so close to greatness and dropped the ball. Even with the patch and all the fixed dialogue, there's still a lot there. It's like, ooh, no, I would not do that with my trans character. But I still respect SWERY for putting the character in there. I love the conversation at Lena's house between York and Patti. That conversation is effing fantastic. But yeah, I think Lena overall was a swing and a miss, but I'm still happy he swung. I still respect SWERY for swinging. Because the vast majority of video games, especially fairly big budget video games, like this one, this game is not like AAA by any stretch of the imagination, but clearly has a lot of, there were many companies working on this. It was not just White Owl Studios, which I think the reason The Good Life is taking so long is because it's just White Owl Studios. There was money put into this project, and a lot of times when money is put into a project and it's not an indie game, trans people don't exist. Most big budget video game writers choose to just believe that trans characters don't exist. And I respect that SWERY was like, nope, they do, and I'm putting one in my game, and they're going to have a prominent role. Yeah. I think I said it best a minute ago. It was a swing and a miss, but I am happy that SWERY swung. I don't want to end on that note, because it's talking about one of the game's flaws. A flaw that needs to be addressed. It is an important flaw to address and talk about. But on the whole, I love this game. I'm still in shock it exists, and I have played through Deadly Premonition 2, A Blessing in Disguise. Which, by the way, that subtitle, I have no effing idea what that means or what that's supposed to entail. But that's fine. It's a neat, it's a fun little subtitle. Yeah, I really, really, really liked this game, and I'm happy yeah, I'm shocked it exists, and I'm so happy it does. All that being said, I don't have a PS4, so I cannot buy D4. I don't know what system Spy Fiction runs on. I don't imagine I'll be playing that. But those are not the only games SWERY has made, and I will go ahead and say I imagine my channel is not done with SWERY yet. And with that in mind, I'm going to go eat some pizza and promise to go protect someone from all the evils in our world, because that's just rad. Yeah. Have a safe trip home, everybody.